Micah chapter 6, verse 8, the prophet speaks, God speaks through him to God's people. Act justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God. Say that with me. Act justly, love mercy, walk humbly with your God. That's what God wants us to do. That's what He's created us for. To first of all, act justly. What does that mean? What that means in the context is that God's people have not been acting justly. Specifically, they have not been protecting their neighbors or caring for their neighbors. Specifically, acting justly to those who are being treated unjustly, people who need help, people who are on the down and out, people who are less fortunate than yourself. To act justly means to love them, to protect them, to care for them. And so, question for you. Right, who is God calling you to protect? Who is God calling you to care for? When I think of protection, I think about the commandments of God. Don't slander. Right? Whose name is God calling you to protect? Right? People are constantly getting talked about in negative ways. People don't understand people, and they're judging people and condemning people. But maybe it's time for you and me, right, to step up and actually protect somebody's reputation. Or maybe, right, there's someone in our life that we know they're in a bad place, bad time, right, and they just need to be cared for and they need to be loved. And God's calling us like the Good Samaritan to take care of that individual who was beat down on the side of the road, to get out of our comfort zone and care for them. What I know is that God's asking us to act justly, just like He did for us by coming to us and protecting us and caring for us. Even though we didn't deserve His love, He gave it to us anyway. So don't get that confused. Right? Act justly means to protect and to care for people. That's what God's talking about. Love mercy. That's love chesed. Chesed is a Hebrew word for God's faithfulness. And so God's saying, love my faithfulness. Love my mercy. Meditate on that, right? Meditating on my just work towards you, where I cared for you and protected you over and over again. And certainly God did that for us in Jesus, right? His faithfulness. His faithfulness. So one way is, here's how you need to treat your neighbor. Another thing is, here's how you need to walk with me. Love my faithfulness. Lean into my faithfulness. Lean into my mercies that are new every morning. Love mercy. Love God's mercy for you. And certainly for this whole world. And so I do hope today, as you listen to this, you're able to take a deep breath and just live in God's mercy for you. To love His faithfulness for you. The scriptures say, even when we are faithless, He is faithful. He has never stopped walking by your side. He has never stopped fighting for you. He has never stopped loving you, and He never will. That's His faithfulness. And then the third truth that God wants us to hear today, that He spoke through Micah, is to walk humbly. To walk humbly with our God. Humbleness in our relationship with others, right? Our attitude should be the same as Christ, who gave Himself up for us, lowered Himself from God, and became man. Right, to walk humbly in relationship with our neighbors, but also in a relationship with God, to walk humbly with God. God, I need you. God, I need you. Right? What does humbleness look like? It's a teachable spirit. Right? It's others are better than me, but certainly, God, I'm not there yet. I haven't arrived yet. I need to continue to be humble with you. And today, as we're humbled before God, as we're humbled with God, right, He's calling us to act justly and to love mercy as we walk with Him. And so may you walk the walk. May you walk the talk, right, that Jesus spoke, that God spoke, and hopefully that we're teaching right now. Act justly, love mercy. Figure out where God's calling you to do that today as we move forward one day at a time in our relationship with Him. Be blessed, and thanks for tuning in.